Premier Sufi announced yesterday on the 1st of April, we are happy today that we are joined by the Acting Judge President of the Gauteng High Court, Honorable Ledwaba. Premier Sufi has requested the Justice
Thank you very much, Premier. I'll administer the oath of Mr. Dunga. Will you take an oath or an affirmation?
It's an oath, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to ask that you read the contents of your oath.
It reads as follows. I, Mr. Nkululeko Dunga, an MPL, swear that I'll be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution and all other laws of the Republic. And I further undertake to hold my office as a member of the Executive Council of the Province of Gauteng with honor and dignity. To be true and faithful councillor, not to divulge directly or indirectly any secret matter entrusted to me, and to perform the functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God. So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I've seen this word of conscientiously beat a lot of people. Even the most experienced.
Yeah. It's a day.
Oh.
Good morning, everyone. It's still morning, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to witness this historic moment. We truly appreciate your presence. We've indicated yesterday and will continue to indicate that we welcome political parties that want to assist us to stabilize government. And I'm extending my warm greetings to the leadership of the economic freedom fighters for allowing MEC Nkululeko Dunga to take some of the responsibilities that we've assigned to him, so that at least the entire government of Gauteng can concentrate on its main task to render services to our people. It has been extremely difficult, purely because of the number game in the legislature. We spend more time consulting or persuading other political parties rather than executing our responsibilities. So the inclusion of the economic freedom fighters in the Executive Council brings stability not only in the province. We have also 5 or 6 municipalities that we are running with other political parties. It can be in Dzanibe, Mfanelo, Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, as well as Tshwane in Johannesburg and Western. So it's a relationship that it was mainly concentrated in local government. It's for the first time that we're bringing it into a provincial government, and we remain hopeful. I had a moment to introduce him to the staff, to the HOD, and everyone. So we are quite excited. We are going to do the formal handover with MEC Maile on Tuesday, and immediately after that, you are entitled to interact with him and ask him about his ambitions, his plans, and which soccer team he supports. I know which soccer team he supports, but for now, just guess the maroon team and the red overalls. You can see there's closeness. So with that, we want to thank you for coming. I'm not sure, MEC, you want to say one or two words and then allow the media to ask you some questions.
No, thank you very much, Premier. Ngibonge ithuba that you would have afforded us, particularly the economic freedom fighters, to form part and to be included into the mainstream governance of Gauteng. Ngibonge the judge for also taking his time, because judges are inundated with a lot of work. So we genuinely appreciate that, and the media and everyone who has come forth. More than anything, we are prepared, Premier, to be led and to be guided by the collective. We are prepared in our attempt to ensure that there is a stability of government, politically and administratively. And contrary to belief, our interest is always on the basis of a stable, functional, and effective government. And we know we have worked, even with yourselves, for quite a while, even outside of government, to be able to appreciate that the principles that we uphold as the economic freedom fighters particularly are some of the things that you express in government. And that gives us even the more reason why it would have been a correct approach to form part of governance and ensure that there's a stability of particularly the legislative arm of Gauteng. So I would have just thought this be a short brief.
Yeah. And thanks. And also, I think you are right. Let's thank Acting JP for really availing himself. He always does. That's what I appreciate about our JP. And JP, we always appreciate the support that you give us. Elijah, should I hand over to you?
Thanks very much, Premier, and the MEC and the Deputy Judge President, as well as the DG. This is just an opportunity for questions if there are any, but I'm seeing one hand and no other, so I suppose there's just one. I just provoked the second. Okay. Let's do just 2 rounds if there will be any, but let's just give you an opportunity to ask a question.
Thank you very much. It's Nkosinathi Shazi from Power FM News. I just have 3 questions. One question for you, Premier. Premier, I just want to get things straight, and apologies, I wasn't at the briefing yesterday. The appointment of Mr Nkululeko Dunga as the Gauteng MEC for Finance, is it based on merit or is it a political stability move? Now, a number of political naysayers have saying that you've put him in charge just for the stability of the GPU and for the ANC. So I just want to get matters straight. Is he appointed based on merit or due to political reasons? 2 questions, Mr. Dunga. Congratulations on your appointment. A very big moment, not just for you, but for the economic freedom fighters. We've seen the likes of the DA and the Freedom Front Plus already coming out and scrutinizing you, saying that you're not tasked for this duty. A very big responsibility. Gauteng is the economic hub of South Africa. Do you believe you have the relevant capabilities to deliver in this position? And just last questions. We had a discussion with our colleagues. Now that you're an MEC, a very big role which requires you to go to boardrooms, which requires you to address AMA conference, will you be switching your overall for suits? Thank you very much.
All right. Okay.
Mr. Shazi, I don't want to say I'm disappointed with you, because I don't want to be disappointed. When one Minister of Agriculture was appointed, did anyone ask his qualification? When one Minister of Infrastructure nationally, who's currently the Minister of Public Works, did you ask his qualification? Just because Dunga has a different skin color, we should reduce his appointment to qualifications or capabilities. It's very unfair. If we're consistent on everyone, I'll be fine. I don't mind. If we're consistent of people that occupied various positions at the national government, I'll be fine, provincial government. This thing that when we have a different political opinion with the person that is occupying, you must hunt for weaknesses and go and dig for negativity, it's wrong. It's completely wrong. Give him a chance to prove in his responsibilities. And to lead a political office, I can be a Minister of Health by tomorrow. I can be Minister of Education. I can be Minister of Social Development, because it's a political office backed up by professionals and people that are assigned that particular task. And this sudden questioning of credentials of other people because they don't belong to the Democratic Alliance or any other party. We have never started the Democratic Alliance. And that's shameful, that it's only those that don't belong or don't have a certain skin color. Their credentials must be questioned, their standing must be questioned, but if it's any other individual, those questions. There's an MEC for finance in KZN. Did anyone ask if his credentials? No. Why? It comes from the DA. 2 is white. But if it's not coming from the DA, it's not white, then that particular person is not fit and proper. It's wrong. It must be discouraged. And please don't fall into that trap. Thanks.
No, thank you very much, Premier. To answer the second and the third question, the DA and the Freedom Front Plus, there is an expectation for anyone who is an opposition to be aggressive in response. So we're not expecting a bed of roses from those that would have deemed to be in opposition of particularly government. So the DA is the official opposition in the legislature. So the expectation is that you oppose everything that the government of the day would do.
Oh, welcome, because even yourself, you're opposing everything.
No, giving credit to us, we agreed to the budget before we came in. So there is no expectation from them to be friendly with us, and particularly as well on the basis that we wear the red overalls. It's an even more aggressive approach. You know, they rely a lot on Rooi Gevaar outside of Black Gevaar, because the Black Gevaar becomes also their primary objective, but in the immediate kill off the EFF at any given point in time, speak bad even though there's no necessity to speak, you know. So if you reflect historically, the Democratic Alliance identified the EFF as enemy number 1 when we're not number 2. Never mind not even being number 1. We're not even number 2, we're the third largest party at the time. So genuinely, we're not expecting anything to manifest itself from a positive front that would come from racist establishments. But on the third aspect, I just forgot the terminology that is used for consciousness of fashion. It slipped my mind. But we represent workers, we represent mine workers, we represent household helpers. And that doesn't change. Why would it be correct for us, Masemi Ngwabeni, we wear overalls? Our parents, still till today, they wear overalls when they participate in the social activity of funerals and even weddings, because and it looks formal and there's nothing wrong with it. And there would be an expectation that we would shift from wearing the red overall to suits. But even when we are wearing suits, by the way, our consciousness never leaves us. It remains intact. But the organization has taken a posture in that the official regalia of public representatives of the economic freedom fighters are the red overalls. And warbona man renaiseri neat. You have never seen it crooked. It's always properly ironed, clean, beautiful. A full representation of the majority of workers, by the way, who are in the 50% of earning below the salary scale of a minimum wage in South Africa. And that's who we represent. And whether we're in the boardroom, whether we're in government, in and out, consistently, we've got to remind ourselves and to remind everyone else around us that they are those workers. Because those who wear suits might forget, but they will be reminded by those who wear overalls. Or, the level of consciousness then kicks in without us having to say anything, or that we ought to represent. And for that reason, don't be shocked when you see us in suits. We don't sleep with overalls. We have casual clothing, we have suits. We don't wear these every day. But when it's official duties and functions, you are going to find us wearing them. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Let's take the last question from ENCA.
Thank you very much. Uzipa Mandlakoke from ENCA. Irregular expenditure, poor audit outcomes, the issue of infrastructure, fixing deep-seated issues in education and health are some of the challenges you will face. What is the plan there? Your critics are saying, if you are not good for Eguruleni, why are you good for the province? Premier, if you can indulge us, the ANC Youth League says this cabinet reshuffle is fictional. What is your response to that?
Thank you very much. Sweet and short. Let's start with the other question. So there are no hands now. Okay. Let's deal with those two first, and then we'll come back, because the Premier is not able to write down the questions. Premier, let's start with you.
Oh, okay. No, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm going to protect my MEC. The MEC is going to be briefed about all those issues only on Tuesday. And the MEC will interact with the administrative staff on Tuesday. After that, you are free to ask him about the regular expenditure, the budget patterns, and all other things. But for now, I think it will be unfair. It's just been given a bunch of documents.
And no PIN.
Yeah, okay. And there's no PIN code for the bank account yet, so I'm joking. So let me protect him for that. We are not engaged in factional politics. We are engaged in stability. We've indicated that we are running a minority government who could not pass a budget, and the consequences are going to be severe. You want us to wait for teachers not to get their salaries to see that this is serious, or teachers, or nurses, or doctors, or staff, or government coming to a standstill? We can't. We can't be reckless and say, taste the difficulty for you to understand our decision. We are leaders who must provide leadership. And we have provided that leadership. And that leadership is very clear. bring all political parties that are willing to work with us. And all those political parties came on board. It's not only the economic freedom fighters. Action SA is on board. BOSA is on board. MK Party is willing to have discussions with us. We already have ACDP, already have IFP, we have RISE. So it's a series of political parties that says we are putting South Africa first, we are putting our citizens first, we want service delivery not to be disrupted. So it's within that context that we've brought the political parties that we have. And I can tell you, there's no way that Dunga is in my faction. We're in two different political parties. And therefore the accusations sometimes, but we respect those that are making the accusations, and we also would engage them so that we can clarify. The good thing that makes me comfortable, is that we have consulted broadly within the ANC. We had a meeting of the ANC officials, and we went to meet with the ANC national officials. We came back to meet with the ANC Provincial Working Committee that includes the Youth League and the Women's League. We then went to meet with the alliance partners, SANCO, SACP, and COSATU. We then went to meet with the caucus that is in the legislature, and then we managed to go to the legislature to make the appointments. So all those particular institutions are internal processes of the African National Congress. And if they were factional, a sector of the African National Congress internal process would have stopped us and said, don't do this because it's either factional, it's not in the interest of the organization. What has influenced this arrangement is nothing else but stability and the desire to ensure that we render services to our people in this province. Thanks. Let's take the last question.
Yeah, the last two hands on this side. There's three, they're growing. Can you just limit them to the three that you have there? Just pass them on.
Okay. Afternoon, Silva Sibia, journalist from UFM. Premier, to you, we have seen opposition parties saying that you are able to negotiate with the other parties that are not with you in your coalition. MK last week also said that the SG, Nomvalo mentioned that sympathizes with you, though they didn't vote with you on the budget. EFF was also saying the same thing. President Julius Malema has been saying that. I mean, what is it that makes you able to work with these political parties? What is it that you're getting right running this minority government?
I respect all political parties. And as I give an ear to all political parties, and if there are differences, we convene the national leadership. You can have the economic front, if freedom fighters here with us, they will tell you how many times we've differed. But become patient, and you don't use differences to say it's the end of discussions. We had a huge fallout with the economic freedom fighters about what is happening in Ekurhuleni. But we said the doors of negotiations will remain open. And we kept those doors. And if we closed those doors when we had differences in Ekurhuleni, we will not be here, because it means we have stopped to contact each other. So coalition government is about respecting your partners. It's also about giving them the responsibilities that are due to them. And I've seen many people questioning, why didn't we give them health? Why didn't we give them, why do you give them finance? The same people, if I gave them education, they would say, yo, you gave them education. The same people say, yo, you gave them health. So you'll never satisfy everyone. But the reality is, and which is very important, that people don't understand, it's not the economic freedom fighters that came to us and say, we want this post of finance. We offered it to them, they accepted, because if you need a partner, you must provide what is respectable to that partner. But if you want to undermine the intelligence of that partner, you're not going to have partnership. But like any other relationships, even where you sleep at home, sometimes they're happy with you, sometimes they're not happy with you. It does not mean there won't be differences, but it's how you manage the differences that will determine how we move forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Premier. Next question.
Yeah, so I'll try to calm down, Premier.
Yes.
But ngithunyiwe,
Sure.
the people from the ground.
Sure.
People are excited, the sanity is prevailing. It's a no-brainer. It's a B3 movement that we're very excited about. I'm from African Celebration TV. We've been building a streaming platform to cater for our people. So that we don't hear from the people that are owned by Canal Plus. You don't have to give an account to the media. You give an account to the people on the ground. And for us, we are very excited about this dispensation. Well done to you. Well done to leadership of EFF. So we're launching on the 1st of June. We're calling it June 17. We're celebrating June 16, but we say June 17 must happen from now on. And one of the industry that we said, we took a decision 5 years ago to say that we need to own a means of production in the media space so that we can communicate with our people on the ground, communicate with the leadership. So as I'm sitting here, Premier, well done, and well done to MEC. You don't have to be apologetic to nothing. And the beauty of it, from June this year, as black people got our platform that we're gonna use to mobilize, to communicate everything that we do. So, a job well done to you.
And best wishes to our launch.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Elijah.
Thank you so much. Gauteng News, the last question.
Thank you so much. Mr. Matwina, this question is just for you, and it's based on Pokumalo from Gauteng News. So my question to you is, how do you respond to critics who say the EFF's economic policies have failed in so many contexts? And now that you have been appointed and so on in, how do you plan to gain the trust of people in general, mostly critics?
Okay, thank you. That was the last question. Let me see over to you.
No, thank you, Premier. Well, the first appreciation would be the understanding that the economic policies that the EFF has always advanced, some might deem it to be too radical. But it is too radical in a space and in the views of people who are dialectically in the opposite end of it. That's how they become radical, because they are in the opposite end. So it's never an objective analysis. It's always subject on the basis that you are used to a certain norm of functioning of policies, you are used to a certain norm of thinking and implementation of policies. Let's take, for an example, it's the position of the EFF to have a state-owned bank. The state here in the province is in the process of doing exactly just that. But it was noted and identified as something that is radical. The state owning a pharmaceutical company is in the process of being implemented by Gauteng. But at one stage and at one point it was seen as too radical by even white establishments and white-owned pharmaceutical companies who expressed that view that then got to be adopted by the rest of society. The insourcing of security guards and cleaners, the inception of the economic freedom fighters was seen as a radical position. Distribution of land, there are rapid land release programs that are being executed by Gauteng. One can argue the pace thereof, but it remains consistently a policy perspective of the economic freedom fighters that is regarded too as radical. So the radicalness emanates from the fact that it is being said by the EFF. And not necessarily. So if the Premier says it, it's not seen as radical. But if the EFF would say something of that nature, it's noted as radical. And it's also because of a hardened attitude towards the economic freedom fighters to a certain point. So you will learn to understand, once you know the policies of the EFF, that they are very much aligned to a highly elevated element of black consciousness that speaks to uplift society and would have not joined a government that would have been dialectically opposed to those views of the EFF. So if you are saying that our policies are radical, it means that the government of the day in itself has expressed its radicalness by including the EFF. So, once again, it can be extremely subjective. I mean, we come from a space, and I'm glad the Premier said they would have protected me, but I would have responded because I would have responded because when the Premier announced the first duty and the function of ourselves and where we come from is to keep yourself abreast in terms of the immediate challenges, the immediate successes, and have a thorough understanding. So we could respond to the matters of the department as soon as he said the EFF. Because even if it wasn't myself being pronounced, as soon as he said the EFF is going to take, it meant that I would have had to respond because I'm also the provincial chairperson at some point. But be that as it may, we led the Department of Finance, but we also come from an organization that pays attention to detail. So all public representatives are subjected continuously through scrutiny. So you come in, you are a public rep, you must account for where you are deployed. And that gives us an appreciation of a full understanding of where we are deployed. But we once held the Department of Finance in the city of Ekurhuleni. So if you took the time to genuinely just check what is it that we're able to achieve at that time, freshly into right after local government elections, with little to no experience, we had a positive spin. And you know, one of the major positive spins that one can talk about would have been the increase from 305 million in terms of cash on hand to almost 1.2 billion when we got removed, ultimately. The increase of indigent or deemed indigents in the city of Ekurhuleni, from increasing the threshold from 350 at that time, 350,000 per household to 500,000, which meant about 230,000 stood to benefit in terms of the indigent policy. It's the same policy that the Premier is advancing at a provincial level. It's seen again as something that is a radical, Premier. But it's something that you would have expressed, that at some point you must consider the aspect that SASSA recipients must be deemed indigent. You know, and those are the material conditions and the changes that we had to effect at that time. And there are many other aspects. There are aspects of revenue enhancement. So even here, I mean, our main challenge more than anything is that we're still relying on about 95% in terms of national grants allocation and so forth. We've got to obviously start increasing our own internal revenue and the revenue intake. But at the same time as well, try and recover from the historic debts, such as the commitments that would have made to appease the people of Gauteng with the matters of e-toll and so forth. And those are the immediate challenges that we are faced with, because that has a direct impact in terms of our allocation for infrastructure development going forward, is that we still have a historic debt that we still need to sustain. And with overtime, the finances of the province are fairly stable, but a debate that is going to become extremely radical at some point that would have to uplift is that there are more people staying in Gauteng. Someone ought to explain to us, Premier, or perhaps it's a discussion we're going to have, why is Cape Town, why is the Western Cape still being given more money and allocated more money than us as Gauteng? But I guess it's a conversation that we'll still have. But these are the challenges that we experience as Gauteng and the department would have experienced in terms of ensuring that there's continued service delivery that is extremely effective to sustain the living conditions of our people. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Alesh.
Yeah, Premier, thank you very much. Let me thank the DG as well for having started this session. We are done. Thank you very much.